Hey everybody, welcome back. We're back again at VMworld for vExpert Daily to kick off the morning before we hand this over to all the brown bag guys for some great other panels with a little less FUD than what you're going to get in some of the sessions, especially if you go see votes. It's a lot of FUD in that one. There's
His point
a reason
exactly.
For that. So as again, we will kick it off. We got a few new guys up here, a few different panels. I'm sure, guys, you guys have seen over the last couple of years we've done this. But as usual, we will start with introductions. You're on the end. Go ahead.
I'm on the end. I'll go ahead. I'm Tony Foster, a.k.a. Wonder_Nerd on Twitter.
Do you always have to say Wonder_Nerd?
I haven't
And
gotten
do you
that.
spell it out? It's a long Twitter handle.
That's a long Twitter name.
I know it's a long Twitter handle. I haven't gotten the problem corrected, okay? It's my fault. My bad. I'll work on that for next year.
Do you actually have to spell out
You-
underscore? That was a good question.
Thank you.
Great question.
I'm glad you guys picked up on that. I was trying to avoid it. No one was getting it.
I'm James Bowling, vCentral on Twitter. Yay.
How do you spell that?
That is never. No. VSENTIAL.
I'm just checking.
MOUSE.
And Shane?
Shane Williford at CoolSport00.
He's definitely not bisexual. No.
What? Vsexual chocolate? What?
I knew you were going to go there.
This morning's is going off the rails quick, apparently.
Just drop the mic.
Well, I'm gonna try to bring this back. So, and I'm Mike Letschin. So we will get going right off. We talked about some other things yesterday. No keynote this morning, so it was a nice change. Everybody got to sleep in, right?
Oh, of
Wait,
course.
there wasn't a keynote?
Wasn't on the screen.
Were you listening to the homeless guy on the corner talk?
Probably.
That was Chris Wall.
Was it 2D, Chris Wall?
So without a keynote, we got to go through other things that people have seen. So did you guys? I have no doubt you went to no sessions.
No sessions. It's rare that I go to sessions anymore, past few years. I was actually at Tech Field Day yesterday. A few storage companies. Was at Tech Field Day yesterday with a few storage companies. Primary Data, actually.
That was the one that jumped out for you. Was Primary Data?
Yeah. They yanked my chain a little bit.
What
and-
about Primary Data?
Somebody asked me this last night, and I totally butchered it. But from a
So
high
I'm
level,
glad you're going to be up here as an
I
expert.
know, right? From a high level standpoint, it's basically they kind of mapped out their own take on software-defined storage in like this quadrant of attributes that you need to really truly be a software-defined storage type solution. And they are the closest one, at least, according to their attributes, to be in that.
I would hope if it's
And
their
after-
attributes, they're the closest to it.
Of
Otherwise,
Makes
they
sense.
really need a new
Makes
marketing
sense.
team.
But I don't know. You just had to see their presentation, and actually, you can go by their booth, and they'll show you. I was just kind of impressed with what they had, how they're going about doing it, without getting into too much. They obviously proprietary stuff, but they impressed me.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you, James? What did you see yesterday?
Well,
Really? Is that hard?
yesterday, actually, while picking up some more of the vExpert swag.
Because that's really all you have done is walk around picking up vExpert swag.
No, I taken some other guys
Other
around to
people's
show
swag as
them.
well?
No, no. Will you stop?
Did you get any non-vExpert swag?
I didn't do anything yesterday because of him.
So while you were walking around with other people,
No. So
surprising, it's 20,000 people here.
kind of expand on what I was saying yesterday. You saw a lot of newer companies, popping up, right? That have either popped up or started moving up the rows.
So is your favorite place on the floor to start on the outside, the little booth?
Yeah, I know.
Like
really,
I know most
it
of the
is.
guys in the middle.
I like starting on that outside because those are the guys that I think you need to kind of see and get to know now because as their tech progresses.
Do you ever
they-
tell them it'll be nice to see them next year on the main floor?
Actually, there was one that I did. And,
But don't expect any real
But-
swag from
Well,
them,
right.
which is good though.
Yeah, it's
because
good.
they're
It's good.
actually going to talk about their solution.
So
Amen.
I agree with you.
Yeah, no, it's the total truth. You notice the ones that are on the outside, in the cheap seats are the ones that will typically really talk to you. They want you to know about their product, right? And I'm not like yesterday. I'm not going to name off any specific ones, but
Why not? If there were a couple that caught
Because-
your mind, people need to know.
okay. So one of them, Primary IO, they had a play in the physical, like server cache and all that kind of stuff. Now they have a VA IO plugin, which is now going to have them competing with Pernix basically. And so it was interesting to see they're new to the virtualization industry, but the company's been around for a long time in the physical world. As their play was originally for accelerating databases and things like that on physical platform, it's now available to do in the virtual world. So it's kind of it's going to be interesting, I think, next year or so to see where that goes.
Did you guys see that come out from VMware, that announcement, VAIO? And
Well, we haven't gone through it. Why don't you tell everybody what it is?
well,
Since you brought it
I
up.
just know of it. Didn't really.
You should have known
see-
better than do that.
Oops. No, but kind of just exactly what James said. I mean, VMware announced, and they were partnering with SanDisk to develop VAIO to make it work. And it seems SanDisk has done it. One of their primary developers, Sergey at SanDisk, spoke at Tech Field Day yesterday. Awesome guy, very, very brilliant. His ending was, I got some good news for you. VAIO, it works. It just works. And that was it. After he gave his hour-long.
So that's another interesting, because then you've got a hardware company really come into play in a software space.
Absolutely.
That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they got their software solution is called FlashSoft. It's kind of like a separate entity under
Which
SanDisk.
wasn't Flash off an acquisition.
I don't know. Was
Isn't
it?
everything an acquisition these days?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you're in the cheap sheet,
hey,
In
keep
the
it
cheap
clean.
sheets.
Family show.
What are the cheap sheets?
That wasn't the one I thought I was going to tell. Keep it
The ones
clean.
that aren't Egyptian, obviously.
the cheap seats of the showroom floor. I mean, those aren't acquisitions, so.
Not yet.
Not yet. No,
exactly.
exactly. And sometimes you can kind of see the ones that are trying to position themselves to be acquired quickly. Because they tend to cater to certain types of people. No, I don't mean. Wow, that totally came out all sorts of wrong.
Is that
But-
you guys? Certain types of people?
No. But you know what I mean? Like
Do
you,
any
you
of
can
them
see
only talk
them.
to bald guys?
If you look, like they may have done some checking into things, and they tried to get key people in front of their booth, that are walking
So they
by
actually
to
did some
talk.
homework
Right.
and didn't just show up at a show.
Exactly. And you can kind of tell which ones have done that, because we see certain people standing in front of those booths talking to those people about tech, and so does everyone else. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like if I saw you standing in front of a booth, I would wonder, what are you doing? Well, no, I wouldn't wonder what you were doing there. But you know what I mean? You look at certain people and you're like, whoa, okay.
So there's a
see
chance
this
they're
person.
there, they're trying to learn something, they're getting more information.
I look up to this
Not
guy,
just the expert
he's
swag.
looking into this tech. Why? So now I go look. It kind of works its way, and those are the people I think that are trying to position themselves either to get acquired quickly or really make a push in the next year because they're getting key community players involved and all that kind of stuff.
I think with the way some of the funding is right now, you've got to make that push. And you can't wait
Yeah.
2
No.
years to go from a 10 by 10 and go to the main floor. I mean,
True.
2 years is way too long
Yeah.
in this industry.
And I hate to say it, but I think there may be a bubble brewing, and you definitely don't want to be in the 10 by 10 when that bubble pops.
I think there's just as much risk if you're in a 30 by 30.
Yes.
maybe less. I mean, maybe more at that point, especially some of the vendors that have dropped a lot of money.
Well, see, that was what I was kind of talking about yesterday, how it's funny to see some of the key players that have gone and spent all that money last year on a big spot have now moved back down, an aisle or two to a smaller spot. But does that mean that they're doing bad? No, I don't think so. I think some of them said, look, I can get more visibility if I'm not at the very end, but not in the middle, because people are actually going to stop and talk rather than think that you're just here to get badges scanned.
Badges scanned, swag, or win this or win that. Yeah.
So, who was your most surprising big booth?
VMware. No, I'm just kidding. Social suicide thing.
Wow.
No, I don't really know. I was interested to see GitHub here. Period. Just showing up. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that, but GitHub was
Yeah.
definitely a surprise, I think,
Yeah.
for most of us.
GitHub?
GitHub, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big.
Have they been here before?
I think they've had 10 by 10
They
before.
yeah.
Yeah, they had a
small
10
They've
by
been in the
10.
cheap seats.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they've
They
never
were
had
noticeable this year, for
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
Very much so.
Now, big booth. There really wasn't anyone that surprised me because it's still pretty much the same people, same vendors with the big booth.
the
but
same 15 or 20 vendors you
Yeah.
expect to have
right
that space.
Exactly. But those are the ones I think that we don't need to pay as much attention to anymore.
I think I called them out last year at the vExpert Daily, and it showed that this year they kind of expanded on their success. That's Ravelo Systems. I knew they were gonna.
They were gonna blow
They
up.
won everything on the floor this year, and
Coming in, I think they had a great buzz coming into the show.
They
too.
did, and they had some buzz last year because they provided some testing environments for vExperts, but it was on a limited basis. And there was some grumbling about that, but I think as vExpert, we knew they were new and they can only do so much. They
Some of the
expanded that this
experts
year.
like to just grumble.
Right. Well, we won't get into that
Not
necessarily.
naming names.
But they were able to
James.
expand that this year, and they got a lot of buzz.
Yeah, I agree.
a lot of buzz. A lot of good feedback from those from the vExperts that had used it and did some test environments, and some actually implemented in their organizations for test environments. But
We've actually used it for some QA type stuff.
oh, awesome!
Because
Awesome.
why not? Instead of me going and buying all that gear,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Most
And
definitely.
it's so much cheaper than me buying the gear. I'll take Amazon and Google's numbers and let them buy the gear.
Right. And our very own Alistair
Yeah?
has Autolab up in their environment. So that was.
Oh, there he is. I was like, where did he
Yeah,
go?
he's over there on the side. So after speaking with Alistair the other day, found that out. Thought that was awesome. That just shows Ravelo is not only a great solution, they are also involved with the community and wanting
They've
to
managed
know
to get some
more
good people
about-
without just hiring away people.
Right,
Like
yeah.
They've built a good team internally, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but tell me, who on the floor was your surprise, big or small?
Surprise for me was actually Commvault Systems.
Really?
Yeah, not so much about any of the announcements that they made, but the fact that the last few years they've been in, I think, a 15 by 15 booth and really haven't had much of a show floor presence. And this year, I think it's a 40 by 40 booth, and they actually have a pretty large show floor presence. So it surprises me that they've made that.
The question is how much traffic are they actually getting now, though?
They've got a good spot, though.
They do.
They're right when you walk in the door. So
Yeah.
you would hope
See, that tells you how much I pay attention
well,
to.
they're
because
they're right
walk
beside
in.
us. It's the only reason I know. I'd have no idea otherwise, probably. They did have a nice little marketing campaign, though.
Yeah.
With theirs on, don't hate the guy because he backed up thousands of VMs. Hate him because he's beautiful.
Right. I think another large vendor kind of going back to your question a few minutes ago, I think SimpliVity is gaining traction. I mean, I think they did last year, but
No.
yeah, there was a couple here. But no, seriously, I think they are. They have a great solution. I think they have a great solution.
So now getting away from the floor. Last night was at VMworld. It is always one of the busiest nights for events and dinners and parties and things. What was fun? What'd you hear about?
So again, last night was I took a different approach to this VMworld as I normally would on party nights. I didn't drink at all last night, so I actually paid attention to a lot of things that were going on around me.
Don't worry, we're all shocked too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I may actually have to walk away for a minute.
no. So I heard that Tintry actually had a pretty good party.
Tintry's was fun. I stopped by Tintry's.
That's what I heard.
Didn't they have a? Wasn't
Justin-
it like a conglomerate party? Was Tintry and Nutanix all? No, not Tintry, but there was a
The
conglomerate.
SDS party?
There was an SDS party
that
beside
was
it.
separate, which was
Yeah.
like next door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Literally next door.
Oh gosh.
But no, of course, Veeam had their typical.
We're giving you your props.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everyone a mod Eunice. What? No, but there were a lot of parties actually that weren't as publicized. So I think they were trying to
Do more of a hidden underground party.
yeah, but that doesn't work. I mean, because if one person in this community knows, then all of a sudden everyone knows.
Yeah.
So if James knows,
No,
everybody knows.
I think the Pernix party on Monday was actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
The Force was with me that night.
Yeah. The Force was great. Though.
It's creepy sitting beside him when he does that.
They had people dress up as Leia and the Sith.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. And
Oh, okay, that's fun.
took
then.
some pictures with them.
It's a little different.
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
I will say that I do think that the companies kind of need to step back a little bit more
Tone
on
it
their
back on the
parties.
parties.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's
I think it depends on the company where they.
Don't
they
get me
roll out.
wrong,
Some-
and
there's
please
so
don't-
many.
Well, I think they have because some have actually started doing breakfast.
Yeah.
True, but
Which I like.
More of what I'm
Solar
talking
winds,
about is
solid
for no offense to any first timers or anything, but for some reason people come here, maybe their first time, second time, whatever, and they completely lose their minds at these parties. It's weird. It's uncomfortable now. Like it happened at Pernix. Myself and Langer were sitting there, and some guy was completely just wasted, okay, and was like grabbing one of the girls that was dressed up as a stormtrooper, was grabbing her props and all that kind of stuff and running off with him, and we're like, dude,
What are you, 5?
yeah, it's like, come on, we're all
Wow.
here. Yeah, we're here to have a good time, but people like you need to.
Go back and sober up.
Ex-
I've liked
Exactly.
the smaller ones now. Like, I mean, in all reality, like, I heard Veeam was pretty good last night. I heard good
Yeah.
things about Veeam last night, but I mean, it's huge.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, I think this time though, who did you go
No.
to Veeam? So
I didn't get over there.
So when I
didn't
when
either.
I went over there, it seemed like normally their venues were a little bit smaller. They did City View. This time they had the entire thing. So in the past, the parties were very you were close
They were a little
together.
cramped.
Yeah.
But this time it was nice to actually be able to walk and talk and all that kind of stuff instead of having to shout at everyone.
Yeah. This
You
was
know.
the
Yeah.
first year in a few years, at least 3 or 4 years, that I didn't go. Just was a little tired. I mean, this event for me, this year, this conference has been different for me just because I've taken a laid back approach and a more sit back and listen kind of approach.
So both
and-
of you have said you kind of changed some stuff you've done in the past. And it's not like this is our first VMworld for any of us at this
No.
point. But do you feel the tone of the event is different? Or is it just that you're like, you know what, I need to get different things out of it?
So I'll tell you what it is, and I'll be completely honest about this. I feel like a lot of the community-driven things that were outside of the conference are no longer community-driven. So that changed it for me. You know, like, I'll give a good for instance, V-Bacon. V-Bacon.
I did not hear good things about
Okay,
V-Bacon. Okay,
so we all know V-Bacon was started. It was community. It was us just all getting together, having a good time, and eating some bacon, right? Now, why is it all of a sudden I've got some little marketing chick standing at the door asking me, hey, do you have your sticker? If you don't have your sticker, you can't get in. And I'm like, I was at the very first one of these helping, put it on. You need to step aside. That's not what it's about anymore.
You can't get into this, even though you're the reason they're doing it. Kind of like you're part of the reason. Like
you were part of. You were one of the. You helped get. It established. We helped Amy. We helped.
Think about that though. Think about what you just said. Pretty much, VM Underground was just people. I say guys, but guys, girls, but it was generally guys, getting together on Sunday night before the conference, hanging out, chit-chatting, maybe grabbing an adult beverage or whatever, and now it's this huge multi-vendor. And I'm not saying it's necessarily horrible, but going back to what you said, it was about community. It was about meeting, greeting, sharing, networking, having fun, getting to know people and all that. And now it's vendor.
So for me, favorite thing I've done the entire time was with Thomas, because we actually went back to what was, to me, what was community.
Absolutely.
And people talk, and I actually, and getting back to that, vBreakfast, I sponsor whatever. I coordinate.
Wait, he just said he's buying
vBreakfast.
breakfast.
And this was the 4th year. It's just, I pick a place, let's all meet, eat, have, chat, whatever. Well, then I had a handful of people email me during or slightly after the event, oh, my ticket didn't work to pay for my breakfast. Well, wait a minute, what? Did you read the details? You have to pay for it. This is just a community event. We meet new people or meet old people, not necessarily old, but old friends kind of thing, and just enjoy the community, and that's it. So it's an expectation also that we're going to be getting handed stuff just because we paid to come to a conference and that kind of thing. So the community aspect is being taken away.
So that's what I think.
Yeah, I think there's an ebb and flow to it. I mean, when we first started off, it was all community, and it's starting to crest with the corporation side of things and becoming a little bit more corporate. And
Some of it is where this is too. It is so expensive to put something on in San Francisco that you have to get people to help pay for it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Because what you did was awesome. So
yeah, I mean, I think there's a place for those sorts of things, but the community and having those conversations and just connecting with people is why we all started it, because we wanted to get together, talk tech. There's a time and place for having fun and having a party, and it's great to have those big events, but the community and just being able to have those conversations, make those new connections is really what we're here for. And I think corporations need to realize that is the power, and you're going to get much better. It's just so much better.
There's a better ROI even for the companies.
Yeah, there's a better response.
Really be community about. Like, if you want to help, great. Drop a couple $1,000s and help, and nobody complains about not having to pay for something.
I think a great example
But do it small.
of that, sorry, Mike, I think a great example of that, a company that does that, to me, is Veeam. They'll sponsor, give money, and not necessarily, oh, I did this, and do this 20-minute pre-event talk of how good Veeam is and that. I think they're good at that.
Well, I think we are just about out of time for today, because we got to turn it back over to a few panel discussion, or a couple more panels, and then some presentations. I think throughout the day, I think there's actually a couple live podcasts coming today. I think is Geek Whisperers going today?
Yeah, they've got 5.
I think they're going. So if you have not seen them, definitely stop in, see it. It's well worth paying attention to. So guys, thanks again, as always. Awesome to have you all up here. I think as we grow this and we bring it kind of back home, I think is what we're all saying.
Good theme.
Bring it back absolutely.
Home. Bring it back home so that it's back to the reason why we all started doing this. So thank you all, and we will see you tomorrow.